Music. Everyone loves music. It taps into a special part of us, part of our brain and our heart and soul. It makes us happy or sad, want to dance or sing. It moves us and inspires us. And their nonverbal reasoning and their overall creative thinking. And when kids have music programs at their school, they have better attendance. They behave better. Their grades get better. Even their scores on those important standardized tests get better, is that music education can improve education overall. And when they're all fired up about music, it rubs off on the rest of their classes. That might be why research shows that music education makes students better at being students.
Good evening. Welcome to our September 16th regularly scheduled board meeting. I want to go ahead and do the welcome and recognition of our visitors because we like to recognize them always. We have Mary Ann Richter from the museum and sitting in for Alan Harkness, and I can never pronounce that last name, Lundeen. All right. From our library system. And if we have any principals or assistant principals or anyone from the leadership team of your school, if you just stand and wave. And then I see Ms. McKnight from MEEF. I think I got everybody. And then all of you, welcome. Thank you for joining us. We will go into our inspiration. Ms. McCray.
Oh, it is up there. I was a little last minute on this one. By William Wordsworth. The best portion of a good person's life is his little, nameless, unremembered acts of kindness and love. It's just a reminder that it's the little things that matter too. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. And now we will welcome in J.D. Davis Elementary School to lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance. and our character word. Come on in, boys and girls.
Good evening. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Attention, salute, pledge. Thank you. You may be seated.
Wait a minute. Are they coming back? Okay.
Oh, they're coming back.
I got you. Okay.
Welcome everyone to our special play called The Diligent Ants. Let's meet our characters. Ant 1, the leader. Ant 2, the hard worker. And Ant 3, the procrastinator. Ant 1 and Ant 2 represents diligent and hard work. They understand the importance of the task and doesn't waste time. And here we have Ant 3 who represents procrastination. But it's too late for Ant 3. The storm arrives and Ant 3 struggles to gather enough food in time. The moral of our story is clear. Diligence and hard work pay off in the long run. Ant 1 and Ant 2's determination ensured that Ant Hill had enough food for the winter, while Ant 3's procrastination left her unprepared. And there you have it. And there you have it, the diligent ants. Performing our character word of the month, diligence. Remember, kids, parents, board members, and district leaders, always be like Ant 1 and Ant 2, hardworking and responsible. Thank you for watching our skit. Now we have a spotlight product that will show our diligence as we work hard to create and find the volume of a ruler folder basket. Board members and Dr. Lewis, we have a token of appreciation for your support. Today you will receive one of our ruler folder baskets made by us and a t-shirt with our character word of the month. Thank you for supporting the D. Davis Scholars.
Thank y'all. Thank you. That is awesome. I'm sure I have a t-shirt too, Ant 3.
My name is Isaiah Maxwell, and I'm in third grade scholar.
My name is Anaya Truza, and I'm a third grade scholar.
My name is Saint Miller, and I'm a third grade scholar.
My name is Tamara Cannon, and I'm a fifth grade scholar.
My name is Jeremiah Makos, and I'm a fifth grade scholar.
My name is Nala Harris, and I'm a fifth grade scholar.
My name is Jamal Todd. I'm a fourth grade scholar.
My name is Jamari Stevens, and I'm a fifth grade scholar.
My name is Mackenzie Cook, and I'm a fifth grade scholar.
My name is Keegan Crowell, and I'm a fifth grade scholar.
Awesome. Okay, and the adults we have the principal, Miss Tavia Williams, assistant principal, Ebony Robinson, and dean of students, Mr. Carlos Baggett, and one more person with you. The amazing fifth grade teacher. Thank you so much. And did we introduce? We also have our media specialist. Okay. Thank you. Takes a team. And we cannot forget our parents and supporters and friends. If you would please stand, because we really appreciate you and thank you for the partnership and your support. Awesome sauce. Outstanding. Thank you so much, boys and girls. Thank you for our gifts. We really appreciate it. This is awesome. Oh, come on in for a group picture. Adults in the back, come on in for a group picture. Shorter people in the front. Okay, principal, you get on the other end. Awesome. Thank you all. Good job. Great job. All right, I need a motion to approve the agenda. It's a hand vote. Motion by Mr. Cantrell, second by Ms. Frey. All in favor, raise your hand. Any opposed, same sign. All right, I've already recognized and welcomed our visitors. And now we will go into our system-wide recognitions. Ms. Wright?
Good evening. There are no school-based recognitions for September, so now I yield to Mr. Corey Neal to present the Power of We Award.
Thank you. That's okay. Our champions are being made right now. Board meeting coming soon.
Good evening.
Good evening.
We're proud to present the Power We Award for the month of September to Ronald L. Bulger, Plant Services Each Region Coordinator. Give him a hand as we prepare to read. And it says, Ronnie, as we call him, embraces equity and diversity by treating everyone he encounters with respect, collaborating with diverse groups to address their unique needs, and maintaining facilities that are accessible to all. Ronnie upholds high standards by consistently adhering to established guidelines and procedures. He leads by example, demonstrating a strong work ethic, attention to detail, and a commitment to quality. Ronnie is committed to continuous learning and improvement by seeking resolutions to meet the district's unique needs. Ronnie serves the needs of others and treats everyone with dignity and respect by actively listening to needs, communicating courteously, and responding promptly to requests. He demonstrates empathy and understanding while interacting with students, staff, and colleagues. He maintains a professional and approachable demeanor and addresses all concerns with patience. This summer, Ronnie worked tirelessly to tackle a challenging task at an elementary school. The school's freezer malfunctioned, resulting in a massive cleanup process that would make most people run the opposite direction. Undeterred, Ronnie stepped up to the plate, even though he did not have to and nor was it his job, inspiring those around him to be a good soldier and to help with the task. His commitment to the task was not just about cleaning out the freezer, it reflected his dedication to the Muscogee County School District. With a perpetual smile and warm greeting for everyone he encounters, Ronnie's kindness and courtesy is refreshing. But what truly sets Ronnie apart is his genuine willingness to help. He goes above and beyond to ensure that everyone's needs are met. His friendly demeanor and approachability makes him a favorite among his colleagues. His cheerful attitude and contagious spreading of positive spirit whenever he's around. Ronnie's commitment to his role as region coordinator goes above and beyond fixing things. He embodies the spirit of service and kindness, turning every interaction into a chance to make a difference. As the embodiment of courtesy, willingness, and positivity, Ronnie truly has a heart of service and exemplifies the power of we. We indeed are a better district because of people like Ronnie. Submitted by India B. Smith, Assistant Director of School Nutrition, Supervisor Ward Odom, and Chief Dr. Travis Anderson. Let us celebrate him once more.
Congratulations, and thank you for all that you do.
Good evening, everyone. First thing I want to do is say it's really not fair for me to follow behind J.D. Davis. The kids did an awesome job. And when you see things like that from J.D. Davis, that's the reason why we do the things we do. Today was a pretty rough day. My guys back there, Scott and Carlton, they can vouch for that. But when you see stuff like that, it makes it worthwhile. So just want to tell everyone thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for Mike Barden giving me the right direction towards the school district. And my supervisors, Ward and John, always give me support. And especially these two guys back here, Scott Turner and Carlton Anthony. Without them, I can't do what I do, and the supporting staff. I'm just a small piece of a big picture, so. And also, can't leave out the wife.
I was
Well,
I was wondering.
I put in a lot of extra hours sometimes, and she doesn't fuss a whole lot. So with that support, it's pretty easy to get things done. So
okay, you are redeemed.
All right, thank you.
All right, next we have our public agenda. We have 2 citizens signed up. Calling in the order that you appear, David Young and Shanika Smith. Mr. Young? While you're making your way, I will read our, the content here is all official meetings of the board shall be open to the press and the public. However, the board may meet in executive session. Speakers' remarks should be directed to the board and shall be limited to 5 minutes. Citizens are encouraged to address items on the board agenda or to initiate presentations of issues appropriate for school board consideration. If an individual desires to speak, they may contact the superintendent's office to be placed on the agenda. The board meeting or the work session is not the appropriate place to address either criticism of particular employees or individual parent complaints when such complaints have not been first addressed to the attention of the appropriate administrator for resolution. Citizens are encouraged to follow our normal channels to address individual parent complaints or problems. And Mr. Young.
Hey, thank you. I just want to give you all a quick update on something. I had a meeting at the school today over at Shaw with the region chief and the principal. Went very well. We had to agree to disagree about purses for our daughters in school. We're just not going to get the purses. But Dr. Hendrick over there completely changed my mind on cell phones. They have no, completely changed my mind. She brought all the statistical data that she did. She keeps up with all this, and cell phones have no place in our school. They are terrible for education. She was telling me how the kids take pictures of tests and then text it around. I said, oh my God, I didn't think about that. We used to pass notes, folded notes when I was in school, so it was a little hard to do that. But cell phones have no place. I wish you all would come up with a policy to ban cell phones in schools. Leave them in the lockers. Don't let the kids have them, because it is the antithetical to education. So if you're really serious about education and getting these kids' GMA scores up, get the phones out of there. Give it back to the teachers. Let them have their schools back. So I just wanted to update y'all that. That's all I had. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Young. Ms. Smith, I saw you walking, so I looked at you because I assumed you were Ms. Smith, all right? Thank you for coming.
Good evening. My name is Shanika Smith, and I have 3 children enrolled in Muscogee County School District. The child that I'm going to address today, his name is Frank Smith III. He attends Reese Road Leadership Academy in the Magnet program in 1st grade. And I want to just address an incident that happened and just propose a resolution so that this doesn't occur again. On September 14th, my child occurred a concussion during PE. It was totally an accident. 2 students ran headfirst into each other. That was at 9:48. He went to the nurse's clinic, and then he was assessed for 12 minutes and was sent back to class at 10. At 10:41, I was contacted by the school saying that he was still complaining about his head, saying that it was still hurting, and that I went ahead and went to the school. She gave me the option to come and administer medicine or come and pick him up. So I went ahead and brought medicine with me, but by the time I got to the school, he was asleep in the clinic, which is a no-no, so after a head injury. And I woke him up, and I did assess that he wasn't good enough to take the medicine. I went ahead and checked him out, and he did get physically sick before I could check him out, so I went ahead and took him to the pediatric ER. But with the incident, I was not notified initially with the head injury. It was not until he complained further that I was then notified of the head injury. And then with the incidents after we got through with the doctor in the hospital and everything, I did reach out to the district because it was after hours of the school to ask about the head injury protocol. And she advised me that she would reach out to the principal. The principal then followed up with me at 4:47 p.m. She did say that Grandparents' Day was going on that day and that each student is assessed by case as opposed to a particular protocol in place. And then she also stated that no one is a trained medical professional, which I understand, in the state of Georgia, it's not required that a licensed or certified medical trainer be a clinic worker, which I understand that. It was kind of like a deviation, so I just accepted it. The coach also called and followed up at 6:07 p.m., checking on my student and everything. And then the district nurse and the actual assigned school nurse called together the next day at 2:53. I did say all of that just to say that regarding a head injury, especially with the elementary student, my student he's functioning autistic, but he is autistic. So there may be a delay in how he does process injury and have responses. So I do ask that it may be, brought to the attention that with a head injury, that parents are contacted immediately, regardless of the student assessment or response. I would ask that all clinic workers obtain mandatory refresher training on how to handle head injuries, as well as other necessary protocols from the assigned school nurse, and possibly make that an annual refresher so that there are no gaps in those type of incidents, how they're handled in the future. And I would also ask that all teaching staff and administration that are going to be supervising the care of those students also be initially trained or refreshed on the head injury protocol or other medically necessary procedures as an annual refresher, because I would hate for this to happen to someone else's child. I don't want it to be where my child has to be unresponsive for me to get a phone call. As to in other incidents, if he was physically fighting, that would have warranted an initial phone call. So I would like for that to be handled in the same respect that a phone call be placed, and then we assess it from there. So just so that those protocols are refreshed and everybody's aware that are going to be assessing the student during those times or overseeing the students and their health care. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Smith.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you bringing that to our attention. As Mr. Kirshen can vouch for, we have mandatory training on some of those different things we're going through right now. All of us are going as part of the refresher. But nonetheless, we will certainly revisit this specifically. So thank you for coming and making us aware of that.
Thank you very much. Glad your baby's all right.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Ms. Buckner?
It's open. I'd like to thank Mrs. Smith and also Mr. Young. You know, it's when people can come back and acknowledge that they were wrong in a certain way, we appreciate that. A lot of people won't do that, but we appreciate the fact that you did come back and tell us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much, Ms. Buckner. We are moving into our action agenda. Item 5.01 is the state capital outlay application for FY25. Motion by Ms. Buckner, second by Ms. Chambers. Are there any questions? We are ready to vote now. Who are we missing? Got it? All right. That passes. Item 5.02 is to secure a vestibule architect. Motion by Mr. Cantrell, second by Ms. Chambers. Are there any questions? We're ready to vote now. And this is to approve TWR Architectural Firm to create a construction documents and bid to secure the vestibule project entrance upgrades to increase security levels in school front entrances. These are new glasses. Shouldn't have put them on today. That passes. Item 5.03 is the Brewer Elementary School HVAC design.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Cantrell. Second by Ms. Sly. Are there any additional questions? We're ready to vote now. That passes. Item 5.04 is the manager at risk for the HVAC design system for Brewer Elementary School. Motion by Mr. Cantrell, second by Ms. Jackson. Are there any additional questions? We're ready to vote now. And that item passes. Last action item is 5.05 of the revised. We need to wait 30 days. All right, this is going to be on the table for 30 days, so we will be voting on it in our October regularly scheduled board meeting. And then we're coming up on our consent. Dr. Lewis, did you want to say something?
Just for, when you get to the consent agenda, just one item I want to bring to everybody's attention.
All right, we're on our consent agenda now. Dr. Lewis?
Yes, board members, you may recall 6.13 is the emergency purchase. Just want to bring that to your attention, that's the one I had sent you earlier about the HVAC system failure at Blanchard Elementary Cafeteria. And that is moving forward with the replacement, but that's the emergency purchase item.
Thank you very much. A motion by Ms. Chambers and second by Ms. Frey to approve the consent agenda. Are there any additional questions, any additional items? Ms. Buckner, this is time for your disclaimer. Hit your mic.
It is that on last week, we thoroughly discussed all the items, and it may, where it may appear that we briefly ran through the items, we did discuss those items on last week. We take your business very serious, and we discuss it, we review it, and we do our take due diligence with it. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Did everyone get a chance to vote on that? Did it show? Okay.
I know.
And that item passes. We do have an update with Dr. Lewis.
Yes, there was a question that came up at the work session last week regarding proximity, and Ms. Carter is going to update you on that.
Good evening. There was a question around proximity learning and the amount for the budget assigned for proximity learning. What was shown as what was paid in the past for proximity learning was about half of what was being asked from a budgetary standpoint, but it needs to be understood that when you have a proximity learning virtual trainer, they're going to teach from a virtual platform, but there has to be somebody inside of the room to facilitate the process. So it's typically a non-certified educator, so an instructional assistant or a para or whomever. But in that case, although the money is not paid to proximity learning, it is assigned to proximity learning services. And so that money that comes from our general funds or T&E would pay for the person that's in the classroom, and we just need to make sure that it's allocated specifically for that. So that's what the whole budget is for.
Thank you. That was helpful to bring the answer back about a budgetary item, and I may not have been clear with my question. I probably did say proximity learning, but the personalized learning, it was me. And even that question was not about a budgetary item. It was about how it's rolled out and how the teachers are saying, you know, it's something else for them to do. And my question was about how are we rolling it out, which probably wouldn't be for you, Ms. Carter, but thank you for that update on the proximity learning. To not have, how are we rolling that out for the personalized learning? For teachers to have to do.
So we have a detailed plan. Certainly we can bring that plan to you. We brought it.
Say that again.
Before. We have a detailed plan for rolling out. You're talking about personalized learning.
Yes.
Yeah. And those, we have instructional, or not instructional specialists, but we have liaisons in the school that work with Cheryl Green, who's leading our personalized learning initiative that helps support what's going on in the schools. So all those protocols that we've put into place for personalized learning, they come and they work with the liaisons in the school. I think there were 84 of them that came and worked with Cheryl on this detailed plan. And they're all from the different schools. Every school is represented. And they help support the rollout in the individual schools. From a plan perspective, there's the liaisons come to each month for professional development, and then it's kind of redelivered out into the schools throughout each month. And there are different protocols that they need to follow as they move through the personalized learning.
It's a multi-year implementation, so it's not all at one time. We're doing it gradually as we go, and with the input of those 84 instructional people from each of the schools. So they're all represented and helping us to decide how and when to roll it out.
So are the liaisons trained to deliver it the same way at every location? Yes. Or is something different going on at each school?
Same every place.
Well, it's
depending on where they are.
It depends on where they are. The schools are in different places too, from a personalized
Not the location of the school, but the delivery method. How is it being rolled? How is this being delivered? Do we know? Or is my question, do you know? Because if it's being, I have this information and we have a meeting and y'all go and do it, and that may not be how you're training them to deliver it, how are you monitoring? Because evidently there must be a location that must not be rolled out as you're describing.
Yeah, and certainly we those liaisons in the school provide that support to those teachers, along with the principals and the academic coaches, which a number of them are academic coaches, that provide that necessary support. So
the liaison is the academic coach?
It varies based on the designee that the principal decided upon. Okay, the principal decided upon those and provided those names to us, and then we brought those together. And each month we go through professional development for those when we're delivering that out. And there's a 3-year plan that we have for the personalized learning initiative. So we can certainly have.
We'll bring a presentation.
Yeah, we can bring that to you and let you know exactly if there's an issue with a particular school. We would need to know about that, and they certainly can come and discuss with us what the potential issues are.
All right, Ms. Buckner.
Actually, you can bring the presentation to us, but what's more important is that the presentation is given, the rollout and the support is given to the school, and are given to the schools.
It is.
Yes, ma'am, it is. Absolutely.
We're talking about the rollout. One thing is different, a rollout and a support is different. You have said both of them. You did say that you're doing the rollout and the support. What's most important is that the teachers feel supported for.
Absolutely.
Right. This is what's important, and it sounds like to me that there's some anxiousness about performing all of the duties or tasks involved in the performance of the personalized learning.
Absolutely.
That's what's important. Now, you can have a meeting every month, and you can have people go every month and learn and have the discussion and come back and tell what they did at the meeting. But what Mrs. Green is saying and what I'm saying is that what is important is that teachers feel supported, and that continuously, and I know you say you do it every month, but not in the way of just a meeting and not just in a way of justification. I see you shaking your head, but that's what we need. Yeah, but in the support of a real support system. That's what I'm saying.
And I believe we do that. We provide that necessary support to those teachers. If there's a particular issue with a staff member that is struggling with it, we have an open line of communication with those liaisons at the school, and certainly with Ms. Green, and then we can go out there and provide the additional support that they need. Certainly if they're feeling overwhelmed, and we're rolling this out in 53 schools. So I'm sure there's a few teachers that may be a little overwhelmed. But we have that opportunity to certainly have that discussion, and we will go out there and provide the necessary support for those teachers. Absolutely.
That's good. Ms. Chambers?
Thank you so much. I think you guys are going to do the train the trainer model?
Yes.
So train the trainer. Okay, can you, so that we're all on the same page, explain what this means for our students?
The personalized learning. This is an opportunity for students to gain agency of their learning. They need to take control of their learning. So we're working with teachers on helping to facilitate that. As teachers become more of a facilitator in the classroom instead of delivery of information. We want teachers being side by side with the students, being able to monitor their data, knowing where they are, set goals for their learning, be able to communicate what those goals are, as well as being able to communicate with their parents and wherever their support mechanism is at home, be able to provide that knowledge and be able to communicate that with their parents as well as their teachers. So the goal is for students to really take ownership of their learning through the personalized learning framework.
And what age group?
This is K through 12.
And so this is going to be a supplemental
This is the
program.
instructional delivery model.
Yeah.
So when you come back with your presentation, because you've already presented to us, you've already introduced us to personalized learning.
Yes.
All right, and so we obviously need a refresher if we're asking this question. So
I
I don't,
have a
when you
couple
gonna,
other questions too. Can I finish? Let me finish my questions to him so that I
Okay, go
make
ahead
sure
and
that
finish your
I
question.
understand. So, a kindergarten, my concern is lower grade, of course, because I do understand that students, third, fourth, can take responsibility for their learning. But kindergarten, when you're in those foundation building years, I'm assuming that this is supplemental and not the entire program that we'll be using.
No, ma'am. Well, this is, personalized learning is a methodology in helping students. And again, I go back to that same term of taking ownership of their learning. In kindergarten, all the early grades, they're looking at, we want to make sure that they understand how to learn to read before they start reading to learn. So it's important that we build foundational skills in supporting those students at those lower grade levels. So personalized learning is more of a methodology in helping students gain that agency over the course of their school careers.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
and also to add to the early learners, as we talked before when you all were doing a presentation, Reese Rowe been doing this since 2009. They just call it the Leader in Me. Those lower grades, they do a really good job of leading their parent conferences and identifying where they are and what they need to work on. So I don't know what you were going to do a presentation about, but we obviously need a refresher. And I guess you're going to give us some updates of where we are with the monitoring.
We might do a personalized learning lesson with all of you.
We did it. We did it at the retreat.
As you recall, we did that.
We did it at the
retreat.
Yeah.
And something that we are rolling out at this time is the digital learning journals.
Yeah, the digital learning journal. We did all that at the retreat.
So kids can document their process and document their goals and identify where their data is and be able to monitor that as they move through the school year. So
And we'll have goals.
we've done a initially in August we did a How I Learn Best survey, and all those students have taken that survey, and their teachers take that data, and actually we're going over that information in general admin on Wednesday with all the principals.
Very good. Are there
Just
any other
for,
questions, Ms. Buckner?
no, just a comment, because when I was teaching, we tried to do that. That's very hard. That's very, very hard. I'm remembering back. It wasn't, it seems to me that the way we have it, the way Muscogee has it, you're saying we do it every month and it's in a group. But we were just doing it in a small group and we had to do it all ourselves and do all the reading. But I found that it was very hard to get kids to do that responsibility, to take those notes and to actually articulate what they didn't know and to be responsible, because the goal is good. You know, it's just like a house owner and a renter. If you have ownership in something, then you tend to work harder with it. It's yours. So I understand the concept is very good, but I just remember working in that, and I found it to be very hard to actually deliver. But it seems that you have a more systematic way of doing it, and everybody is in sync, hopefully, or everybody will get in sync, hopefully.
That's the goal.
Okay, yeah.
I think what would help us when we set our own board goals and review our norms, to have that in place, so we'll have something, a real document that we're working with, instead of the sample document that we played with at the retreat. Ms. Tillery?
We can get that.
And I may have misunderstood you, so that's why I just want a little clarification. I feel like you said that you were going to take the content away from the teacher, where it wouldn't be as much teacher-led content and they would be side-by-side learning. Explain that a little bit more.
I'm not saying we're taking the content away from the teacher. The teacher is acting more of a facilitator and in supporting the learning in the classroom. They still have to teach and provide direct instruction.
Okay,
That's
just
key.
visualizing
Yeah.
like a computer doing most of the teaching.
No.
I was like, oh
No,
gosh,
no,
we're
no.
gonna have to
So-
hard
Absolutely
on
not.
that. I was like,
That's part, if you'll keep in mind, this has been an ongoing part of the process, doing the gradual release, where we've implemented personalized learning as part of that gradual release, where there's still direct instruction on the lesson, and then as they break into the we do, I do, you do process, and this is where it comes in. And it's been very effective, where the school and the teachers have embraced it. It's working very well. Cheryl Green can certainly share some of the great places it's working well. And we've got a lot of great things happening as a result of that. It's like anything else, it's new, so it's taking, for some schools, it's newer than other places. As Ms. Green said, some schools have been doing it for several years now. Others are just getting into that. And of course, if you're a brand new teacher to any of our schools, it'll be new to you unless you learned it in college. To that end, we are also working with our post-secondary partners to make sure that those pre-service teachers have a better working knowledge of that as well, so they come in with that process and that knowledge in place.
but computers are great, but they can't replace the physical teaching.
Nobody ever replaces the teacher.
We're definitely not saying that.
Okay, you
Never
just said
said-
taking the content away.
That
so
is
my-
a tool.
I just meant,
That
yes,
is a tool.
okay.
It's a resource.
Supplement their, yes, their content,
No,
but not take it
there's
away.
always direct instruction being provided. When I say facilitator, I'm meaning that the teacher is helping facilitate the learning, and they're working so the student will take that ownership. Eventually, they'll learn how to do that and take pride in what they're learning and continue to move forward with that. So
I knew I probably misunderstood it. That's why I was just like getting a little clarification. Yeah.
I just want to make another comment in terms of facilitating the learring, as what Mr. Seifert has said. And in the classrooms that I was in, for example, Mrs. I can't even think of your last name, Nikki. For example, Nikki, I just have to. Teachers may put kids in a team, okay? And when they put them in a team, they put the discussion questions there. They put all kind of content stuff and even written assignments there, okay? And they all have to work on a team. And when everybody's answering the questions, and when you have a concern, you ask one of the other students. And so you're all working and asking each other. And then when you get to a point where nobody knows the answer, then you involve the teacher. It's like everybody's facilitating. And that came from when businesses said that they needed people to work. That came from the business model, who said that they didn't need all these little geniuses. They needed people to work on teams on these different jobs. So they merged, and the teacher became more of a facilitator. And a few years back, I don't know how it is now, when we got our evaluations, the teachers were in evaluations, you could not be up there. You get a bad evaluation if you were up there teaching just directly on, your classroom had to resemble something where students were doing their work and the teacher was facilitating. If the classroom didn't look like that and the principal came in and you were up there teaching, you could be doing a wonderful job, but you got a bad evaluation. Your classroom must reflect students learning, taking charge in some way of their own work. I don't know how it is now.
I can recall before the digital notebook, my second grader conveniently skipped over a particular subject and said, we won't talk about that right now, and I have some more work to do. And went on to all of the other content areas that they were doing, that he was doing very well in, but just conveniently just skipped over. We'll come back to that because I still have some more work to do, Mom, and in the second grade. And so that was the student taking ownership of their learning with the Leadership Academy at Reese Road.
Working it out.
All right. Did you have anything else?
No.
You have something, Ms. Buckner?
I think y'all skipped it. I wanted to add something, the legislative priorities.
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
She's adding something. Go ahead.
Oh, it's just an information item about the priorities that we did.
But if you have your item you want to add, you can go ahead and submit it right now for the record.
I'm just going to read it. It says, where is it? Board member Naomi Butler would like to ask the Muscogee County School Board to amend the legislative priorities to add an additional item opposing any voucher bill that allows public funds to be used for private schools, virtual schools, and homeschooling. This is the legislature that they pass. They have every year that we encourage people to vote against. So I'm asking that it be one of our priorities.
Thank you. And just a reminder, if you want to, the list is attached again. If you have anything to add, this is the time to do it. Thank you, Ms. Buckner. I don't think I don't recall seeing any response from the delegation about availability, looking at the last couple of weeks in October.
Mr. Smith was asked to inquire about the date and time, so
He did? I don't know if, okay. So kind of check your calendars for a couple of dates, and we're asking the delegation to poll its members to see what dates in October, the last week or two in October. Ms. Frey.
Yeah, I know we had mentioned getting with Ms. Boren from the voter registration office to see the cost of doing a special election when a board member has to
I've
resign.
actually sent her a second email, so
And,
maybe I need to pick up the phone.
Right, so I just wanted to just put that on everyone's radar. We still want to look at that.
That's right.
Having the ability for the board to
That is an item.
Okay.
Yeah, that was added as well. That's an item. Anyone else? All right, I'd like a motion to go into executive session for legal matters and a personnel matter. Motion by Ms. Buckner, second by Ms. Jackson. All in favor, wave goodbye. Thank you all so much for your attendance. We are going into executive session.